This clip is a perfect example of what MAGA actually does for veterans.
If we're going to spend more money on our Department of Defense, on our NDAA, why don't we pay military recruits more money instead of paying for electric vehicles and electric vehicle charging stations? That is an embarrassment, and I think it's an insult to the American people.
Madam Chair and Ranking Member Smith, I have good news in that the NDAA does include a raise for our service members, which is long overdue, but we can't multitask.
Yeah. They pretend to care about them when in reality, they use them as a tool to prop themselves up. Take the Trump situation from last week.
Today, the U.S. Army confirmed that a Trump aide did indeed push an Arlington National Cemetery employee as she tried to enforce the rules, making this the latest gaffe in Donald Trump's long and horrific record of disrespect toward U.S. troops and veterans. That includes saying that John McCain, who spent 5 years in captivity as a POW, was no war hero because, quote, he was captured.
Speaking of McCain, the former senator's son, spoke about the Arlington disgrace, and he really didn't mince words.
If Donald Trump pulled it down and apologized, I mean, it would be the right thing to do. But look at his history towards veterans. Look, at this point, you know, I don't know what else he has to do. And the least we can do is when they're gone, if they, you know, when they're in Arlington, is to respect the rules and regulations that are in place, like not politicizing the fact that these men and women are there. Go, show respect. I understand that he was invited. Show respect and leave.
This is insane, right? I mean, you would think someone would have some common sense and say, oh, this was a terrible idea. Like Trump would be like, oh, you know, so it's confusion, my bad. But no, you know, this is the same people that brag about shooting down legislation for veterans.
Why did you vote to strike funding from the VA office, Resolution Management, H Amendment 296? If this was under the, this was probably under Pelosi. I didn't vote for a lot of the things that Nancy Pelosi wanted to do because they wanted to provide abortions at the VA and they wanted to do a lot of other things at the VA. So I voted down a lot of her bills and I'm proud of it.
I mean, let's be honest though. These are the only veterans that they care about, that they actually care about.
I'll send this over to your office, so maybe perhaps you can stop targeting innocent grandmothers and veterans who walked through the Capitol on January 6th and might actually go after people tied to Hamas, tied to Hezbollah, and likely Iran. Mr. Wray, are you interested in members of Congress that are organized and participating in a Facebook group that has ties to Hamas?
We're not investigating people for participating in a Facebook group.
A Facebook group that is tied to Hamas?
We have multiple investigations into individuals affiliated with Hamas, and they're active investigations.
Yeah, you heard that right. I mean, the only true patriots, according to Marjorie Taylor Greene, are the ones with insurrectionists. Yeah, got it. You know, that's for the other soldiers. I mean,
In a conversation with senior staff members on the morning of the scheduled visit, Trump said, "Why should I go to the cemetery? It's filled with losers."
I haven't been to a Trump rally since the disgraceful incident at the Arlington National Cemetery. So I haven't had the chance to sort of ask MAGA like one-on-one, just like, what do they think, right? But I mean, we know what most MAGA thinks. I mean, if they're all in, they're just all in. They're gonna, you know, find some way to, you know, say that this is just the media and, you know, the Arlington National Cemetery. I mean, they're also part of the deep state as well. I mean, you know, they've been compromised. I don't understand the sources that MAGA has and conservatives have over what Democrats, Republicans with regards to veterans are so absolutely warped. Every single Democrat has revered veterans. I mean, even, you know, like AOC, I mean, they were all of them have fought in some way for veterans to be taken care of. It's just so absurd. I think that there's this aesthetic that they like about it, and it's it's just like, like my only thing is through action. And they swear, like Obama did amazing things for veterans, and Trump just rode off of the coattails of his programs. Really, didn't really like. What he did wasn't spectacular compared to Obama, compared to Biden. I mean, I'm forgetting about this. The burn pits. I mean, Republicans voted against. There's a bunch of Republicans that voted against, taking care of the soldiers that were, got diseases from, all the burn pits they had in Iraq. I mean, like the fact that there's more than one Republican that voted against that is ridiculous, right? Me personally, I mean, saying thank you for your service is just meaningless. The thank you for your service that's what the money is for. That's what the veterans benefits and all of these perks to being a veteran. That's the thank you for your service, is just funding hospitals and things like that, right? And not sending them off to war because, oil. Yes, veterans, great. Give them the respect, give them the veterans benefits. But I mean, I swear to God, every time when I talk to MAGA about the unhoused, their first thing is, there's some homeless vets on the street. Like, what about the homeless on the street? Like, what, right? The aesthetic they have with regards to veterans is like, dude, relax. I'm so looking forward to what MAGA has to say about John McCain's son. Just saying, you know what, I'm out. I posted something about this, and I had followers going, yeah, but like he's been insulting John McCain's service record for like a very long time. Like this was the straw that broke the camel's back, right? So like, I was like, you know what, you do have a point there. I was like, why is this was the line for John McCain, for John McCain's son. And for what it's worth, John McCain's son, what he had to say wasn't all that crazy. It was just like, this is not a place for political ads. People are buried here. Respect that. And this is something that like literally Trump, if he actually cared about veterans, if the people surrounding him cared about veterans, like bottom line, no one can claim ignorance on this, especially people in the MAGA cult and people on Trump's staff. These are the people that, they just, kneel for the flag and, all that stuff. And so they kneel for the flag. None of them can be like, what? I mean, if it was like a group of like, pro-Palestine, leftists, and they were there, we would all be like, hey guys, all right, let's just give them a quick tutorial on this, right? I mean, if it was like Jill Stein, if Jill Stein was there, we could be like, oh, let's just give her and her entourage and the people like a quick tutorial on how veterans and these things work. They're really far to the left, anti-war. Let's just go through this a little bit, maybe, yeah, right? And everyone would just be like, oh, of course, how would they know? But these are the people that claim to know. This is the party and the MAGA, the America First, that, yeah. Also, no new wars under Trump, apparently. Yeah, that's a favorite talking point. I'm going to get into that one. But yeah, until next time.